Yes, baby.
I smell the smoke.
Yeah, me too. Yep, I just unplugged it.
This is never a video that I wanted to have to make, but I feel like after going through the experience that I've gone through and the lack of resolution at this point, I need to share what has happened to me. And hopefully that will stop this from happening to anyone else. On the morning of September 4th, I woke up earlier than normal. I had to take our car to get gas, and so I got up at around 10 till 6 instead of my normal 6:30. When I got out of bed, I could hear Maggie, our dog, downstairs moving around. If you have a dog, you know that in the morning, when they hear a human wake up, they start to get a little squirrely, a little loud. And so I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my stuff from upstairs. I'm gonna bring it downstairs. I'll get ready downstairs, and then I can leave and get gas. So that's what I did. Grabbed my stuff, came downstairs, and I walked into my kitchen to turn on the light. I went to switch the light on and realized that the light switch was already turned on. The night before, I had just pulled the chain to turn it off so that way the ceiling fan could keep running all night. I'm telling you all of this so you can understand that it was still very dark in the kitchen at this point. I heard a noise and I thought that it sounded like the ice maker, but it sounded a little bit different than the ice maker. It sounded more like sizzling. I looked around, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I see this orange glow coming from right behind the refrigerator. I pulled the chain to turn on the light, slid the refrigerator out, and to my horror, from the bottom refrigerator side in the back of the refrigerator, there were flames and smoke just billowing out of the refrigerator bottom. At this point, I just kind of freaked out. I grabbed the plug, pulled it from the wall, and just waited for a minute for the fire to stop. I looked over, my dog is like, the look on her face was just like, oh my God, what is going on? So I shoot her outside before she started making noise. I opened the window on the door. I pulled the smoke detector off of the wall so it didn't start going off and wake everyone up. At this point, the entire kitchen is full of smoke. What just happened? Why was my refrigerator on fire? Once I kind of gathered myself and gained my composure, I sat down, I pulled out my computer, and I Googled. I just typed in Frigidaire refrigerator catches fire recalls to see, did I miss a recall on this? I didn't find any recalls, but what I did find was horrifying. I found dozens upon dozens of cases of this exact thing happening in the exact location to other people. And there are no recalls issued at all. So I called Frigidaire. Since then, I probably talked to 6 or 7 different people at this point. They've all denied that they've ever heard of anything like this ever happening before, even though I've told them, there are news articles, there are YouTube videos, there's literally an entire section on the complaint board with dozens and dozens of cases of this happening to other people. But they say that they've never heard of it before. They all asked me if I had any property damage. They said that they would cover property damage, but they would not cover the refrigerator that they manufactured that caught on fire. While the customer service advice has been highly inconsistent, they have all regurgitated the same line: this is no longer under warranty. We can't do anything about it because it's not under warranty. To me, I feel like this isn't really a warranty issue. When you think of a warranty issue, you think of a part simply breaking. To me, when I think of a warranty, I think of things like when our heating element went out in our Frigidaire oven just past the warranty period. The oven was no longer under warranty. I ordered the part, we installed it, the oven is fixed, and it works. It's reasonable to expect that periodically your appliances will require maintenance. It's completely unreasonable to expect that because your appliance is no longer under warranty, that it can spontaneously burst into flames. These are not the same thing. When the shelf in our refrigerator cracked, I glued it back together. When our ice maker required repair, we repaired it. All of these things, warranty issues, 100%. Refrigerator catching on fire, not a warranty issue, in my opinion. There's a huge difference between an inconvenience and a safety issue. There's a difference between something not working and something bursting into flames. They're not the same thing. This refrigerator caught on fire while my children were sleeping. It just so happened to catch on fire on a day that I was up early and was able to stop it. Otherwise, who knows what could have happened? I'm not the only person with this refrigerator, and I'm not the only person that this has happened to.
I'm about to show you what happens when I plug in my 3-year-old Frigidaire refrigerator. When I plug it in, it kicks in and it catches on fire. Now, this is a factory defect, and they basically jerked me around for 3 weeks to then tell me no, they wouldn't cover it. We'll see what happens as soon as it kicks in. And there you have it, folks. Catches on fire.
I'm not asking them to address normal wear and tear issues. I'm not calling to complain about the refrigerator simply not working. I'm calling to ask them to figure out why their machines are catching on fire and putting people's homes and families at risk. This is not a warranty convenience issue. This is a safety issue. I'm not the first one. The cases go back years and years. There was one customer service associate that I spoke to who told me that my refrigerator was actually really old because in today's day and age, appliances are only supposed to last 7 to 10 years, which fine, okay, my refrigerator had just turned 7 years old. It was manufactured in 2013. But when an appliance reaches the end of its life, when it's done, when it's not gonna work anymore, it's just supposed to stop working. It's not supposed to put your home and your life at risk. When we bought our home and we moved in, we bought a cheap fridge from an old friend. Eventually, that fridge stopped working. It just wouldn't get cold. That's what you expect to happen at the end of your appliance's life. The first person I talked to said there was no way that I could talk to a supervisor that day, but that we could sit on the phone and listen to each other breathe. Otherwise, she could have someone call me back within the next 5 days. The customer service has also been highly inconsistent. I had someone tell me that they could give me 20% off of parts, another person say that they would offer me 10% off of a new appliance, and another person who said that I could have 30% off of parts to fix my refrigerator that caught on fire. But they wouldn't cover the service, and then if I wanted anyone to look at it, if I wanted it to be investigated at all, as the consumer, I have to pay for it. So I did. I called and scheduled an appliance man, one of their certified appliance repair people, to come and look at my refrigerator. He did. He came in, he looked at it. It took him like 10 minutes. He found where the refrigerator caught on fire. He told me not to plug it in again. It's not repairable, obviously. He showed me where the fire started. This fire was less than 30 seconds. And this is what the capacitor looks like. This is what was burning up inside my refrigerator. What's most frustrating is knowing that I'm not the only one, that this has happened to other people, that there are dozens and dozens of reports of the exact same thing happening on the complaint board. There are news articles of this happening to other people. There are videos of other people's refrigerators catching on fire. And maybe, just maybe, they could claim that they didn't know about this until now. But now they know. They know that this is a problem. I just woke up this morning thinking that I needed to call my insurance company, my home insurance company. And I called them and I talked to our agent. We have a local agent. They're amazing. And she let me know that I do have appliance coverage on my insurance policy. So I took down all of the information. I told her not to file the claim yet, but I called Electrolux back. I waited on hold the normal 45 minutes, which I am now used to. I got a hold of somebody who was just a regular representative, and then she put me on hold because she felt like she needed to get in touch with somebody else who she felt like could better help me. She transferred me to the Consumer's Affair Advocate, I believe. I've talked to supervisors at this point, but not because they called me, because I continued to call them. It wasn't until I told them that my insurance covers appliances that they gave me to the Consumer Affairs Advocate. I don't know what's going to happen at this point. She said that she's going to get in touch with the appliance place and ask for the report that I'm paying for. And depending on whatever the findings are, there might be some sort of goodwill gesture that she can offer me. It's not just about them replacing the refrigerator. I want to make sure that they figure out why this is happening so it doesn't happen to anybody else. At this point, it's just a waiting game, so I'm waiting. She promised to be in touch within 2 to 3 business days, and so I will update after that. But for now, there's nothing, no resolution. I don't know why it's taken so long to get in touch with the consumer affairs advocate. I feel like a company should want to know if their product poses a safety risk. I know if I was producing something that could be harmful to someone else, I would want to know about it. I'd want to know about the problem so I could fix it. For now, this is where we are. I am really hoping that they do the right thing, and I will update it when I know more. It's a new day, a new month. Progress has been made. So I started filming this video about a month ago. At that time, I left off after speaking with the consumer affairs specialist, and I was told to expect a call back within 3 business days. So I waited 3 business days. I waited 4 actually. I didn't receive a call back, and so I called Electrolux back. I waited on hold, spoke with a representative who reached out to the consumer affairs specialist. She was unavailable, so they sent her an email to call me back. I waited several more days, did the same thing again. I still hadn't heard anything. I was able to get the contact information for one of the people in charge of media at Electrolux. I sent her a detailed account of what happened to me, and I also just included in that email the things that I felt like needed to happen in order to make this situation right. And those things were just that they needed to replace the refrigerator, obviously, that they needed to collect the refrigerator that caught fire and investigate it, put their engineers to work to investigate this problem because it's obviously not an isolated incident. And then I asked that they issue a recall. And finally, that they pay for the appliance people that they required to come look at the refrigerator in the first place, since they didn't want to come and look at it or have anything to do with it at first. So I included all of that in the email. Then I called her work voicemail. I left her a voicemail letting her know that I had sent her an email. Now, I've never heard back from her, but the very next day I did receive a call back from the consumer affair advocate. She told me that they were going to move forward with a goodwill gesture of replacing the refrigerator and collecting the old refrigerator. I told her that'd be great, that we'd love to move forward replacing the refrigerator, and I was really happy that they were going to collect the old refrigerator and look into it. She said that they needed to email me some forms to notarize, and then we can move forward. She didn't tell me what the forms were. She was actually kind of vague about it on the phone, but I was like, okay, that's fine, just send them to my email address. So she emails me this form, and it's essentially a release of liability, which is fine. I have no problem releasing them from liability. Honestly, this is really what they should have done in the first place. But at the very bottom of the form, there's a confidentiality agreement, and it essentially says that after signing the form, I cannot speak about this on social media or to the media. And so I emailed her back and let her know, I already have a video planned. I've already talked to people. I'm going to move forward with this video. I've also filed a CPSC report, which is public. I was like, I didn't know if I'd be able to sign it or not. And she said that as long as I have released the video prior to signing it, and then I can include that they have resolved the issue to my satisfaction, and that would be fine. So that is where we are. I am going to release this video, and then I will not be able to talk about it on social media or to the media after that. All in all, it has been, like I said, well over a month since this has happened. We are quickly approaching 2 months. I'm really, really happy that they decided to do the right thing. In her original email, she also hadn't said anything about reimbursing me for the fee to have their appliance specialist come and look at our refrigerator that caught fire. She did clarify that if I sent her the receipt that they would go ahead and pay for that as well, which is the right thing to do. Unequivocally, the responsibility should not be on consumers to investigate, products spontaneously combusting. That is not the fault or the job of the consumer, to be clear. I have no idea why they decided to move forward with the goodwill gesture. I don't know if it was me, letting them know that I had reached out to my insurance company, or when I reached out to their media contact. Like I said, she never actually got back to me, so I have no idea if she even read what I wrote. So all in all, I've spent at least, and I feel like this is a pretty low estimate, 10 hours on the phone with Electrolux, on hold and speaking with their customer service representatives. This has been a really long process. I feel like this could have been, solved much more easily had they just escalated this obvious problem to the right person right away to deal with it. But I am pleased that they are doing the right thing. They are going to replace the refrigerator. They're going to collect the old fridge. My kids have lovingly deemed it fire fridge. It's hanging out in the corner of my kitchen, and I cannot wait for it to get out of this house. And they're also going to reimburse me for the service call that they required me to get. This process obviously hasn't been easy. It's been long and tedious. I am happy that they're doing the right thing though. And I do want to say, I'm pleased that this is the resolution. But I do think that it's important that I make this video. I feel like documenting what happened to me was necessary. And I want anyone else who has gone through this or who, may find themselves in a similar situation in the future to know that if you continue to persist, that there is a chance that the company at fault will choose to do the right thing, which is what Electrolux is doing.
Well, it looks like I'm going to be finishing this video with a toddler sleeping on me, but such is life. I just wanted to say, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I really hope that you never have to experience anything as traumatic as an appliance catching on fire. But if you do, I would encourage you to continue persist in making sure that the company does the right thing. And I do feel like Electrolux is doing the right thing. I just wish that it hadn't taken as long as it did. I've spent easily over 10 hours on the phone with them, plus longer doing research for this video. I wanted to make sure it was thorough. And like I said, I won't be able to answer questions or anything like that after I sign the confidentiality agreement, but I feel like this video is pretty comprehensive. And I hope that, in the future, Electrolux will choose to do the right thing, and so that nobody else has to go through the saga of all of this if, God forbid, something does happen to their appliances. And hopefully they will issue a recall. That was one thing I did ask for in the email that, they didn't commit to doing, but at least they're investigating, which I feel like is a step in the right direction. So anyway, thank you again for watching. I'll leave links to all of the videos that I used to get the footage for this video, as well as links to the complaint boards and all of the other resources that I found publicly that I used and included in my video. And yeah, that's it. I will update when we get the new refrigerator with a picture or something simple. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thanks so much.